Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Earlier this week, January 3rd, 2018, the Houston Astros accepted their invitation to the White House to be congratulated for winning the 113th World Series, which they did November 1st, winning Game 7 5-1. As I had said since August, the Astros were a lock to win the rigged World Series. And part of that lock was based in the prediction made by Sports Illustrated, which was put out on George Orwell's birthday. It would have been George Orwell's 111th birthday that Sports Illustrated put out their magazine cover of the Houston Astros being the 2017 World Series champs. And the reason it matters that it was put out on George Orwell's birthday, what would have been his 111th, and the Astros ended up winning on 11-1, the reason it matters is because George Orwell talked about rigged sports and how sports were used to control people along with alcohol and gambling. And he talked about how they were used to control a fictional people that are a lot like the people of the United States of America in a nation called Oceania. But Oceania, what he wrote about, is people who live in a nation that are ruled over with lies and disinformation, and their nation's always at war, but the people don't care because they're too distracted with the rigged sports and the gambling and the alcohol. George Orwell also said that weather warfare would be the weapon of the future, and as I showed, Houston would flood on August 27th, which I showed days before it happened. I said that Texas, that was the day that the flooding was going to be massive. August 27th, I didn't just talk about Houston, but I said that was the day to look for after Harvey and the tropical storm for the flooding, because it had all the numbers for the flood. Plus, it was the day Stevie Ray Vaughan died in history. Stevie Ray Vaughan remembered for the album Texas Flood. Anyway, not only did I call the date that the flooding would happen, I guaranteed that because of that flood, the Astros would win the World Series. Sports Illustrated made a prediction tying George Orwell into all of this. You know, weather warfare, rigged sports. You see how this all comes together? But look at this. From the day that they won the World Series to the day that they accepted the invitation, January 3rd, 63 days. And the reason that matters is because Major League equals 63. Notice that's also 9 weeks, 9 innings in a baseball game. A lot of 9 in baseball. January 3rd can also be written 3/1, like 31. Houston accepts the invitation to go to the White House. Notice the emphasis on responsibility. Gematria of 75, also like World Series, you see. As for 6/3, it reminds of the date June 3rd, and if my channel wasn't deleted, we could go back and look at my videos from June 3rd, 2017. You'll recall, on that day, the Marlin got the first no-hitter of the season, and it was exactly 36 weeks after the dead Marlins pitcher, 36-63. Notice June 3rd's the 154th day of the year. On this same day with the first no-hitter of the Major League season, which was scripted, as all of sports are, there's no exceptions, everything is scripted. Every major record, every major accomplishment, every major championship, it's all been theater. It's all script, no exceptions. But with regards to it being the 154th day, remember, the Grand Slam record was set on that day for Major League Baseball. You got the Grand Slam record, 154. 154th day is June 3rd, Major League, 63. Remember, the World Series before, I guaranteed the Cubs were going to win it, breaking the 108-year drought. Hadn't been in a World Series since 45. Cubs 45. Wrigley 45, Illinois 45, always been scripted, going back more than a century. Something else I want to show you. Baseball was created by the Freemason Abner Doubleday. The baseball season used to be 154 games, and then they extended it to 162. Notice, baseball has gematria of 162, 54, 54, and 18. Think about how there's 18 half innings in a game. Think about how there's 54 total outs in a game. Look at what happens when I write Major League Baseball. We know about the 63. You know, you saw Roy Halladay, Major League Baseball player, die suspiciously November 7th in a plane crash. But notice Major League Baseball also 162. And 351 is interesting because that's the 26th triangular number. The word game is 26. The word ball game is 26. See? Special number. But this is why it's scripted this way. They get the scripted World Series win. And again, they won Game 7 with a score of 5-1. Houston Astros 51. They beat Los Angeles. 51 days after they won the World Series, you had James Harden scoring 51 points for the second time in a row in Los Angeles. You had a rocket launch, Astros, space travel. Federal equals 51, conspiracy 51, moon 51, outer space 51, area 51. See how all of this is scripted together? Sports news, the Rockets, Houston Rockets, James Harden plays for, you know, same city the Houston Astros are from. Rockets in their 51st season. All of this stuff scripted. And oh yeah, Houston Astros 75. Almost forgot to put that in there. Going in with this, responsibility. You see? You see how it is? Houston Astros also 147 like World Series. 147 windows on the White House. U.S. President 147. President of the United States 147. How come? Because it's named after a Freemason 147. Conspiracy 147. You see? Every single time a team visits the White House for any sport, it's scripted this way. No exceptions. I've documented this now for every single sport since I've been doing this, 2013. Every single time it's this way. Watch, when the Super Bowl team wins the Super Bowl and they go to the White House, it'll be this same type of rhythm. NBA Finals, same thing. I don't know if the NHL teams go to the White House, do they? If they do, it's scripted the same way too, because the NHL's all by the script. Woo! I think that was from some pepper. I had a lot of pepper on my food a little bit ago. But anyway, it's all a script. It's undeniable. People got to wake up. People got to see what's going on. Willie D. There's a YouTube channel out there, Willie D. This guy's trying to put out a lot of good information. He's putting out good information, but he keeps talking about sports are real, and he's just so proud of his Houston Astros, and they finally won the World Series. That'll just ruin your whole truth channel. Talking about sports like they're real just makes you look dumb. So, Willie D., wake the fuck up, man. I keep leaving comments. I keep linking my work, showing you how I called the Astros in the World Series since August. You're not really exposing jack shit if you're too dumb to see that sports are rigged. Sports are one of the worst parts about our society. The reason that the majority of men don't give a fuck about anything truth related because they're investing all their time in these rigged sports. Willie D. Not sure about this guy. But if he's real, he's going to wake up and start spreading the message. If you're not intelligent enough to speak about gematria, which is really a simple fucking thing, it's really fucking simple. If you're not intelligent enough to speak about this, then you're probably not intelligent enough to speak about anything truth related. I think gematria needs to be the new standard. If you're a truth channel and you don't use gematria, your channel's fucking worthless. And I've been saying that for a long time, but it's absolutely true. This is the code that everything by the New World Order is done by. In the sports, the elections, all of it. It's all rigged by this code. If you're not revealing the most important thing to these people, what are you really revealing? You're just talking out of your ass. That's the difference between my work and every other truth channel. I can back up my points 1,000,000 times a day. Got over 3,000 videos proving my case further and further each day. 20,000 blog posts further and further each day. Use my blog to search for things. There's a lot of information, so you got to be smart in your searches. But right here, first no-hitter, June 3rd, 2017, Miami 36. The reflection, the pitcher who got it, 63, 36 weeks after the death of the pitcher for the Marlins, who was murdered by the numbers, whose death I showed the day of was synced up with the Cubs winning the World Series in Game 7. The Cubs had the curse that was in connection with the Marlins because of the incident with Steve Bartman. All this stuff, you guys, you know. All this stuff. So, this was in the year of the 113th World Series. But just so much information on my blog, you know. If you're sleeping on my blog, if you're not using all the information here that's archived, you know. You're not making it worth my time to continue to invest to do this research. Worked so hard for all these years to put out all this truth that all these people can access. And, you know, most of you are too lazy to do a search. You know, you can't even, you know. Sad. Laziness, killer. Anti-intellectualism, a killer. You know? So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.